what's up everybody? Tito here, and basically after using Project Fi and the Moto X4 Android One Edition, I wanted to do a follow-up video basically talking about this device and Project Fi service. So to start off this video, we're going to talk about Project Fi. Now, for those who don't know, Project Fi is Google's mobile service that they are providing for customers, and it is prepaid, it is not postpaid, so that's a bonus, right? One of the things to duly note about Project Fi is that they are for the conscious user. So if you're someone that is looking for a fully unlimited data service, then Project Fi is not something that I would suggest for anyone to sign up for that requires having unlimited data. Now, if you're someone that barely uses data, then this would be perfect for you, because basically the way that the plan rates work is it's $20 for 5 basics, which is talk and text unlimited, and then every gigabyte is $10. I'm going to say 10 gigabytes. $10 per gigabyte, basically. So, now the way that they used to do it before was that you would select how much gigs you feel like you use in a month, and say like you use 2 gigs in a month. You're not a very you don't really use a lot of data. You have home Wi-Fi and all that stuff, so 2 gigabytes you think would suffice. So you would pay $20 for 5 basics, and then $20 for 2 gigs. So your plan rate would be $40 a month. That's how the old plan used to work. And one of the things about that plan that was pretty cool, say like in that month period, you only used 1 gigabyte. So what Project Fi would do is they would credit your account $10, so that on your next bill, you wouldn't be paying $40 for your plan, you'd be paying $30 because you didn't use that other gig. And that was really cool. I really thought that was dope. However, I didn't get to take advantage of that plan, because when I signed up for Project Fi, they had just started their new one with the safety net. Now, the way that this one works is that you pay $20 for 5 basics as normal, but then you use the data that you use. So you have up to 6 gigabytes to use. Once you surpass 6 gigs, they stop charging you because they're going to throttle you down. So you're not going to get the 4G LTE speeds anymore after you surpass 6 gigabytes. That's why they stopped charging you. So the most that you could be paying on the phone bill is $80 a month, basically, for Project Fi, and no higher than that. And that's why I said, like, again, if you're a person that needs unlimited data, then don't look at Project Fi as a solution to getting you into good service, because there's no unlimited. Now, I do feel that at some point Project Fi will have unlimited data services. It's only a matter of time that eventually they'll be doing that, as their customers are starting to scream for it, because one of the main things besides the services, well, the service plan that customers are raving about is the dependability, okay? Project Fi service is super reliable. I've been everywhere around my city and outskirts of my city and various different cities close by, and Project Fi has always served me well, even more so than what Boost Mobile has. I've always had bars where I'm at. I've always had phone service where I'm at, and that's just because of the fact that it uses 3 different carriers to piggyback off of. So it uses Sprint, T-Mobile, and US Cellular. So with those 3, being able to smart switch in between whichever one carries the best service at the time, you're definitely looking at having phenomenal connection wherever you go. And that is a big, huge bonus for Project Fi. So that's why I feel like that at some point, because there are Fi customers who are screaming for an unlimited service data package, that eventually that will actually come to be. Now, I do know that Project Fi in no way is trying to compete with the prepaid carriers out there. They're just trying to provide an option for those people who don't want any of the other prepaid service carriers out there, which to me still is kind of competition, because you're taking customers away from Boost Mobile, Metro, and Cricket, but they're not aggressively competing is their main point that they're trying to say. But Project Fi has absolutely been good. Now, with the Moto X4 Android One Edition, the reason why I picked up this phone is obviously, you know, I'm not going to spend a lot of money on the Pixel 2 or Pixel 2 XL, because there's only 3 devices currently at this time that's available for Project Fi, and that is the Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL, and the Moto X4 Android One Edition. Now, one thing that you can say about the Moto X4 is that it is a revive to the Nexus line. If you guys remember the days of Nexus, how basically Google went through different manufacturers to build their Nexus device, which was then replaced by the Pixel line. You can say that the Moto X4 Android One is just reviving that whole Nexus feel. I mean, it runs basically stock Android. It's going to get more updates than the other version of the Moto X4. And Google's going to be maintaining this device up until its life expectancy through them, which could be 2 or 3 years. Who knows? Google can change that at their discretion. However, this phone has received ample updates and has been it's been phenomenally good to use. So, one of the things that I can honestly tell you about this device that I think is like super cool is the fact that this phone basically just flies like butter. Okay, so it does have a Snapdragon 630, so it doesn't have the Snapdragon 835, but that's not a big deal. This phone is phenomenally smooth. Everything about it is just lickety split. It's got 32 gigs of onboard storage and I believe 3 gigabytes of RAM. And again, like I said, the Snapdragon 630. And I'm not sure what GPU it's running, but I can tell you guys right now that the graphics on here is actually pretty good, especially playing games and whatnot. It's just worked out to be very, very, very well. So I'll show you guys right now. Basically, it is running, I believe, 8.0, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see. Yeah, 8.0.0 with the March 1st security patch. Okay, so it hasn't gotten updated to 8.1 yet. And I'm thinking that it may or may not. That's, like I said, that's all at Google's discretion. But other than that, I mean, it runs really flawless. I dig the design of the phone. The phone basically is glass back, glass front, okay, with a metal frame on the side. One of the real cool things about this phone is that it does have dual cameras in the back, along with a two-tone LED flash, and then it also has a front-facing camera with LED flash. Now, the cameras is actually pretty cool on this. The cameras itself has got a lot of features that's actually pretty cool. So, let me flip this around here, and yeah, you guys can see front-facing camera actually works pretty good. So one really neat thing about this is that it has things like face filter, which is really cool. It can be done in video mode, it can be done in photo mode, and just the way that it works really is, you guys can see on the screen right now, I'm showing you guys a demo of how it works. It's just really cool, and this makes for just great fun. If you were to vlog or if you were just to take photos, you can have a lot of fun with these. These are just really cool stuff. Some of them have, I mean, you can see right now, it has this little microphone popping up, and that's just, basically, just some fun to have. I mean, I dig cameras that have these types of things to have a bit of fun and to just make things more interesting. So that's just something that I would definitely say, is a plus as far as camera, camera-wise. I mean, you can take some really good shots with the cameras. The cameras do phenomenally good. I really dig the cameras on this phone. And also, you can have a bit of fun with it too, as I'm showing you guys right now. So, I mean, that's just something that's, I would say like an A+ to it. So, let's send this little clip up so I can use it later. Other things to duly note about this phone actually too is like the battery life itself. Battery life, extremely good. I have to say, 3,000 milliamp hour battery, can't go wrong. It just works out. I pretty much get like a full day with the battery on this phone, full day. So I really can't complain. And I gotta say, with it being an Android One series, it just really feels like, like a revival of the Nexus. I just really gotta say that. It really does. I know the Moto X4 and most of the Motorola devices are nearly stock Android, and the Android One edition of the Moto X4 is no exception to the rule. But considering the fact that there are other devices that's going to be coming to Android One. I think the Nokia 8 Sirocco is coming to Android One. So I mean, there's just various different ones that are going to be out there. The Moto X4 is a champ. I mean, definitely, if you're looking to get Project Fi service and you're like, you don't have the money to spend on a Pixel 2 or Pixel 2 XL, the Moto X4 is a good option, a good pickup. I definitely recommend it. And I got the black version. I know there's another one that's more like a silver blue, and sometimes I feel like I should have gotten the silver blue one. Black's starting to feel a little bit dull, but at the time I wanted something that was just neutral. Black is neutral, so I was like, okay, then that works out great. I gotta say that the screen itself is crystal clear and good, and of course the fact it's got biometric security, so if you want a fingerprint reader, and the fingerprint reader is pretty fast on this phone, so yeah, it was pretty quick. Not as quick as my Honor 8, but I have other devices with biometric reading that's like really slow. So with that, I mean, that's just pretty much all that I really gotta say about this. If you were to get the Moto X4, I believe if your credit is okay, because they do check your credit, you could actually finance the phone, and I think it's like $10.83 a month for 24 months. So, and those are under installments, or so you're not leasing a phone or anything like that. And I'd say it's pretty much worth it. It pretty much is. Project Fi service, phenomenally good. 2 thumbs up, and I am hoping that eventually they will come out with some sort of unlimited service package, and that would be great. That would be great, because right now, if you have Project Fi and you wanted to add a second line onto your account, you could basically, you can add a second line. I was going to say, there's another thing I'm going to tell you guys here too. You can add a second line for $15, and then whatever data it uses, so it charges up. On top of that, if you have other devices, or even if you have like spare smartphones laying around, you can actually order multiple data SIM only SIM cards from Project Fi. So I do have one already. It's inside of my Honor 8, so I can use my Honor 8 when I'm out and about. If I'm not using it for phone calls, if I'm just going to use it to browse the internet, or maybe do like a live broadcast or something, I could do it from the Honor 8, and it'll be able to connect to LTE. So you have those options. You can use those SIM cards and tablets. There's just so much things you can do with this. So Project Fi is very versatile, and something that I would definitely recommend to anyone out there that's looking into a new company to try out. Give Project Fi a shot, especially if you don't use a lot of data. Then this is going to be like right up your alley. Moto X4, definitely a good device to consider picking up. I know Project Fi doesn't have a lot of device selections, and yes, you could actually tap the SIM card into another unlocked GSM device. However, I'm told that after a while, for doing that so much, that they would be able to figure that out, and then they can suspend your service. I'm not sure, because I haven't tried to get my services suspended by them by sticking the SIM card. I mean, I have used a SIM card in my my Nextbit Robin. I've used it in my Nextbit Robin, my Honor 8. I've used it in my Asus Zenfone 3 Max. So I've used it in some unlocked devices, and when I use it in there, it's been in the phones for maybe like 2 or 3 days, and then I switch back to the Moto X4. So I don't know exactly like how long you have to keep the SIM card in another phone before they figure out that you're not using your Project Fi device and suspend your services, but I don't know. So that's pretty much it, everybody. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by smashing that like button to let me know. If you're considering Project Fi, I will leave a code that if you do decide to sign up with Project Fi, you can get $20 credit, and I'll get $20 credit. So it's, word of mouth sharing type of thing. And yeah, thanks for watching. Aloha.